Hello, hello, hello. I am wrapped up in massive coat right now while I sit in my car with it all turned off and just sitting here. Sorry, I've just going to turn my lights off now. It's just so bright. So, yeah, got my snuggly coat and gloves on, but my jammies are on, but my wellies are on. And, whoa! What a fucking start, eh, to the new year already. All fucking ready. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Oh, God. So, a gentle reminder that New Year's resolutions don't have to be about positive changes. You can commit or seek revenge. Remain petty and disrespectful to your enemies. Mwah. That is a lovely statement. I big headed think about. I think we need to stop pandering to all these people that have opinion and no facts. I think we need to go back to that, especially in the last week, or last few weeks, I should say, even leading up to Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, you'll with all this fake shit just made up all the time. No evidence. And when there is evidence shown in your face, so I'm just opening an energy drink because I need it, that we still pander to these dummies, especially ones that are like, I don't care about politics, or it doesn't affect me attitude. And yeah, usually the ones then that believe in anything. So I would like to send condolences still to especially Iran, especially Sudan, especially the Congo. Palestine is still having shit. It's non-stop, still fucking non-stop. I would like to still apologise to Ireland for us Brits taking over your fucking country and still brain warping some of you with our fucking wrong ideology. I would like to apologise to anyone who has any colonisers in your country because of the white people there, because of the white European people there. I am always shocked completely. I'd like to say rest in peace to Renee Good and her family, especially children involved, her partner slash wife, her any relatives, friends that fucking saw that, and people twisting it is fucking wrong. I'd like to condole to Keith Porter's black man that was also shot down and dead by ICE in America. Your family, man, crikey, is shocking. And it's shocking that for days and days I've seen a report on him and no one has hardly really spoken about him. We've got to realise that they don't stop. They won't stop. We've said loads of times that you're allowing corporations and capitalism, patriarchy to win all the time because it doesn't affect you personally. And all these people that are in a minority oppression group that are joining the Red Wing, MAGA, all of this, or as I like the new term now, is redophile. Someone coined that, and I think it's fucking fantastic. And you all still don't believe it will affect anyone. You still are thinking in a racist way. You really don't think that they hurt children, like anyone that is in a terror. I find ICE as a terrorist group. You don't realise that you shout protect women and children, but it is women and children they are fucking killing and detaining. And a quote came out earlier where ICE officials said, it is not our responsibility to... This is fucking hard. This is so hard. I'm probably going to do this in bits because this is crazy. ICE Detention Centre says it's not responsible for staff sexually abusing detainees. Sounds a bit like Israel, doesn't it? Oh, God. And also, of this recording, it's probably going to have to be in parts of this shit. In this recording, a husband and wife was shot in Portland as... I don't know what the outcome is yet of them. I've heard nothing else. I've only heard the 911 call of the husband ringing. So the wife's been shot in the chest. He got shot in the leg or chest as well. And he said multiple times, ICE officers shot at me, my wife, in our car when we were leaving. And for some reason, straight away, Trump and his fucking gang of orange goo-faced freaks just went, no, they didn't say ICE. They didn't say ICE. He didn't say ICE. He said CBD, CBF, ISIS, probably fucking Lee. Yeah, they just completely denied that he ever said ICE. they said that he said a complete opposite word. But I'm hoping, it's a positive outcome with these two. I hope you don't add to the list that ICE has been responsible for. Because at the moment, it's just Renee and Keith Porter that's been physically killed by ICE. So they are the two people so far in 2026 that has been murdered because of government. And obviously, there's probably tons. There's probably loads more, and we're not seeing them because, especially if they are in minority oppressed groups, we won't fucking hear it. We won't fucking hear it till a week or so later. So I hope that you have a positive recovery. There's no complications. You have all the support you have in and out of your home, especially for the rest of your life. And I just don't know what to fucking say. I don't know what to say. Like Brits want to bring this sort of shit here. They want to bring them to Ireland. Ugh, I don't understand. And all the 32 others from last year that ICE murdered and deported and abandoned and imprisoned. I'm just very sorry that capitalism is a pain in the fucking arsehole. No one is listening to anyone ever. No one is listening. It's a fucking crazy world. It is. It's, if you've listened to previous chats, for a fact I have not just gone on about white people problems. I mostly go on about that than anything. Obviously, I go about my own country, UK as well. I go on about Ireland because obviously I'm in both Ireland and I come from England. So I obviously update there. I know it's like, well, we don't care, but I just don't get why people don't open their fucking eyes. For many years, people have been saying, if you're quiet and you don't stand up to anything at all and show awareness and support for those oppressed, they will come for you. And ta-da, they are coming for you. They're coming for us. All because I'm not really into politics. Oh, it don't really affect me. Oh, yeah, well, they're the countries are always fucking fighting. Yes, but why are they fighting? Because of us. We let us in there to rape everything, steal everything. And we've left all these countries with terrorist groups running it, with none of the people to defend themselves from it. And yet, we more give a shit once again that mostly white, what we think of white countries are now being attacked by their own country. And then people are like, oh, woe is me. No, it's been going on for fucking centuries and we have not given a shit because we pretend we end up with the benefit of it. Us, personally, we do not. The rich people do, though. We have our ideologies for rich people all the time thinking that we can live this world. And, awful. So I would like to give condolences to all of those families that have been affected by what is going on in the USA at the moment. It doesn't take away at all whatever else is going on in the USA. A lot of oppressed, minority, indigenous people groups, communities are still being attacked. We're still not reporting it. But yeah, they don't care. They don't care. When they shout, protect women and children, it shows, look, they don't care. And then they make up a big bullshit story to condemn themselves for it. It's such a fucking cop-out what they said. You see the videos in every angle of what happened to Renee. This is not Keith. Keith, I've got no footage of him. I've just got accounts of people that saw it and, yeah, what Keith was filming and stuff. But, full-blown truth is shown in your face by video evidence and you still fuck it up and call her a lesbian freak, a woke lefty crap wacko. And what the fuck? You've orphaned kids, mate. You've got a wife crying, distraught. She's just seen her wife get killed. She's not on a fucking 3-month fucking tour acting like she's in a fucking rock group like Erica fucking Kirk. You didn't give a shit about Charlie anyway. Good. I don't fucking give a shit about that silly cock. But that's the difference. You're seeing proper grief from a proper person, not a rich bastard. And you don't give a shit and you're standing up for it. Also, I'm obviously part of women collection groups and women's right groups and stuff. And in Britain, I'm still getting the Facebook chats, messenger chats that we're all in. And someone has donated $10,000 to the ICE officer that killed Renee. His name is Jonathan Ross. Ironically, we've got Jonathan Ross in the UK. He's a chat show host. If you look him up with Russell Brand. I think that's the true fucking Jonathan Ross there, being a cunt. And being a misogynist prick. But anyway, and they've already raised like $250,000 for him. He didn't go to hospital. He wasn't injured in any way, shape or form. He wasn't hurt, he wasn't run over, nothing. And yet you all fallen for this. This man gets you get 50 grand for joining ICE, right? I think that's why a lot of people join it. It's just like the army and everything like that. You get shown that, oh look, the grass is green on the other side sort of fucking attitude. And it's not. Obviously, you're killing your own fucking people, donuts. So yeah, I would like to make a reminder, because as you can hear, I'm fucking riled up already. That I might mind you that I have to probably do this in parts, mostly because I haven't had a chat, news thing, facts, histories, crime, anything else I rant about. I haven't done that for a few weeks, since, Yule and everything, and hanging out with my family, seeing some friends, going on for lovely historical hikes. I think I said that in my last chat, where I was just like trying to fall asleep, while Christmas parties were going off in Limerick City. And and I went to Castle Black. It sounds like it's a place in Cork. It's not. There's another one. It's in Cork City, Limerick City. But you might search it up as Castle Tray. That is a fucking fantastic place. It is. It is in the middle of nowhere. It is right by the Shannon River and that, Placid. And it's like right next to an open field by the university and everything. So it is in the middle of fucking nowhere. You do feel like you're about to go on the motorway at any second, or you feel like you're going to go in a horror film because it looks like an auction or whatever by it. But it was fun. It was fun. Even though I had mud up to my knees and all that stuff, it was fun. I found like the Plassey Mills ruins. It's great. And I saw obviously like robins. I saw a lot of blackbirds, swans, horses, obviously, cliche Irish shit. But I didn't see a fucking otter yet. I didn't see an otter. But cameras have caught the otters. So that's pretty fucking grand. It's always whenever I leave the city. It's always when I think, oh, I'll go to the city this week. And I fucking miss it all the time. But anyway, so obviously I've been catching up studying. As you know, on a chat before, I was on about doing a checklist. And so I've been like doing my reading, doing researching. I've got more courses, so I need to get on with that. But also I've been doing art. I've been figuring out more what sort of things I like to do. So I want to do stuff and not just be a lazy ass otherwise. Sorting out like home ed groups. Obviously like schools are back now, so I've been just trying to see what new cool home ed stuff's around. So I'm in and out of like sessions and lessons. Obviously celebrations happened, we're mostly like a winter family, with celebrations. Like my birthday was a few weeks ago. My kids have got a birthday coming up soon, next few weeks, all that. And a few family members that are close. They're winter. I've got just loads of stuff, like sorting stuff out. Me and my friend made a pact where, because now she's got a job, that we make a pact that we at least once a month go to a show or a day out together, just to recharge and act like an adult and not just be around kids and stuff. She's got children, and also she's got a job in a school, so it's like, let's recharge and act like silly adults and stuff. So that's been pretty cool. What would I do? Everything is probably gonna have to be in a few parts to this, because I have just made, not voice notes, but I've literally just typed of things that's been going on, ideas that's been going on, opinions, facts that have been going on. I've been just putting it in my notebook, on my phone here. So I've just been doing that really more than anything. Like I said, there's a storm going on, so you might hear the storm going off. It's got really windy. The car's shaking. I've got an electric car, so I'm just stuck here. There we go. Woo. So I'm just stuck here in the car park, and I will hate it when it's ready to stop charging and I have to get out in this bloody rain. So let's get on with it. I've just like researched a lot, screenshot a lot of articles, a lot of books open, looking at things. Obviously, like going through all saved stuff I've saved for the last few months, really, because unfortunately, the world just doesn't stop. There's just so much shit going on all the time, especially already this year. So, bear with me. And here's part one. So, I don't know if you've seen, but online, we're getting a lot of people that are really running out of content right now. This weather is fucking horrendous, so I hope you can hear me. I've got to re-all do this again. So I won't delete my notes as I go along like I usually do. So do you think Stephen Bartlett is either running low on views, so his multi-million, or probably billion, empire can't afford that extra champagne bottle? So he's decided to outright be an incel with Dr. K. Another fucking knob. Where people have fallen for this niceties of a nice guy shit again. And because we fall for the patriarchy, capitalism, upbringing, and all of that, because, doctors, or because of money-driven nice people, we feel like we need to listen to them all the time, authority-sounding people. So yeah, we listen to this bullshit, and I haven't listened to this like Diary of the CEO for many fucking years. It's a lot of fucking snake oil salesmen and shit. But I see Stephen Bartlett not as a true person. He's very money-driven. Obviously, that's why he's just so rich. And now and again, they might have a proper person on it just to keep both sides happy. But unfortunately, people fall for that bit. And it's shocking that people have only just started seeing that Diary of the CEO is going on about money-making things, like pandering to the incel side of it, pretty much. Very pathetic. You are the problem, Stephen Bartlett, and you are the problem, Dr. K. You are the problem, and everyone that blindly sees all that all the time, and they go on and you took out context. Oh, you took it out context. No, he's just doing it again. He just wants to pay. You just don't want to pay attention because you're like, that man. You'll never admit that bad people are bad people. They're just nice to you once, and a lot of people are abusive, and you do not know that you only see what they want you to see. And it's sad that once again you're letting rich boys win. It's just a lot of people. Whenever I do research on shit like this, it just shows even more that. So when I was younger, I obviously thought if you fell for a cult, you're a fucking idiot. But even more, I'm just seeing classed as very smart, intelligent people falling for a lot of shit. Unfortunately, it's people that are falling for also the wallet side of it. That's why MLMs, if you couldn't hear that, are such massive business, because straight away they tell you it's not going to be that much to sign up. You're going to be your own boss, because patriarchy's told you, you could be your own boss and all that shit. You can make tons of money, and they're pretending that this is the easy way to make money, but it's not. It's literally just recruiting people is how you make money. It's not the product you're selling at all. And that's why MLMs are massive things. And do you know what's really annoying is that when you pander to the incels in the right wing and these fake religious people, you do not realise that the patriarchy will hurt more men than women sooner than later. You've made an ideology system to benefit men, but because of capitalism is thrown in there, it's really fucked up normal working men. There's a lot of high suicidal rates from men because the system is fucking broken. And yet who do they blame? They blame the women for not supporting, helping, fixing. But it's a patriarchic system. It's not there for women. It's for men. And that's why people only really give a shit when if you've got a good job, or in their eyes you look like you've got a good job and you're making muscles and shit. And even if you're an asshole, and you've got muscles, it's classed as being strong and shit, where a woman it's not. You're classed as a bitch if you're an asshole. Men will give a shit. Well, when will men give a shit about that? Women don't really give a shit about any of that, because patriarchy is moving on, but men are staying in it and still listening to these rich men that you don't benefit at all from. Women are moving ahead and are only showing that it's no women can choose partner, not the men choose partner, because we have jobs, so and we're allowed to obviously have money. We don't have all the rights. We're still fighting for a lot of rights, a lot of equal shit. We don't have all the rights, and we need, as a woman, far from it. Patriarchy is moving on, and men are just staying there. They still listen to these rich people selling you town or river, and women have moved away from it, mostly because we've got jobs, we can get our own independence and money, we're allowed to get a home ourselves without having to A-OK it through a bloke in our life, and we don't have to be the ones now that have to wait for the partner to choose us. We can choose our own for their personality, them as a person, not what they potentially could give, like financial stability, because we don't need that anymore. Where men are still very old-fashioned, where they think that they have to be the man of the house and do. But no, not at all. But yeah, we don't have all the women's rights that we need, far from it, but we have enough rights that we can have an independent life if we choose to, and we can choose when we have children, and if we get married, and if we have children, what lifestyle we want. We don't get told we must do this and we must be controlled. And the men don't get that, that men don't get it, so they just tackle the minority oppressed groups, communities, to make themselves feel better of their broken systems. And unfortunately, I've seen a lot of oppressed communities, individuals join that side of patriarchy as well, but they're also not benefiting off it. They will be like the pick-me girl, that the second it goes wrong, you'll be the one that gets thrown under the bus. There is a study on a housekeeping magazine. Stay with me on this, because what the fuck? And it's shown that women, obviously, if you're a woman out there, you'll completely understand this bit, that we get very panicked over a lot of things and men just don't get why and don't get it. And this actually is an example that proves why. It's patriarchy, obviously, situation. And listen up, lugholes. So in this survey, a few thousand people, so good housekeeping, they did a visual survey. So they showed an apartment, and it was very minimalist, and it looked like one of those loft apartments, or what you call it, like a warehouse flat, studio flat thing, or apartment, wherever you're from. And yeah, it was like an old factory looking, when it converted into flats or apartments, whatever you want to call them. And it looked expensive, but it was very minimal. It was tidy as fuck. You look at it, and it was like a show home, and there was like another picture by the same place, but they'd like thrown a coat over a chair, a few like socks, I think it was, like socks, like there was a box, cardboard box. It looked like they sort of moved in and they just sort of rummaged through a box and then just thought, nah, it's not what I wanted, so they chucked it on the sofa. So it was a bit spewed everywhere, and people were giving opinions of two people who they made up. People of Jane and John. Now, the groups that were told the tidy one was John's, everyone was like, I bet he's a businessman, he's obviously very rich. They were also very minimalistic things, patriarchic things about him, and it was very positive in an adult way, very like, oh, he's professional, oh wow, what a man, and all that shit. But if they said that it was Jane's place, they berated it. They said work could still, but she went to work. They said it could still be tidy. It doesn't look like a woman lives here. It doesn't look comfy. It doesn't look homely. It was fucking mental when you read it. There was also always judgment on this. The messy one, when they said it was John's, well, of course they all said this shit. Oh, he's a busy man. He's obviously got a job. He's a bloke, blah, blah, blah. He's obviously doesn't have a woman, so we expect to be like that. The second one, you say, oh, it's Jane's, is a huge berating. It was hugely berated. They even visualized what this made up people, by the way, this woman must look like, and calling her lazy and disgusting. A woman wouldn't have a house like this. And it's the same as when you like look on YouTube and when you see creators or whatever you want to call YouTubers, they do like shocking flatmates, roommates, like uni ones, and people are more shook if they see it's a right tip, like a right mess. If it's a girl compared to if it was a boy, because we have that ideology narrative of boys will be boys, smelly pigs, smelly greasy teenagers, you expect it, things. But girls are prim proper problem, and it's what we don't get to obviously everything like think we do. We're just going with what do you think, this is how this works, is done, and we all get presume like, oh, my nan, this is my mum, and why is this that, because they've been told what to do. It's just like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing, okay? We don't know why, but we just get told you just do it. We get told independence, but it's not independence for us. It's independence to look after a man. Shit. And that's what's gross about it, really. It's just frustrating, really. Yeah, we all just presume like, oh, well, my nan's like this and my mum's like this. Why is that? They've been told that they have to do all this shit. The second you get a bit of freedom, you have to realise that you are going to have to be the one that does everything, where a man isn't told. He has to also do shit. Because like I said many times, we're not the privileged ones. The man are the privileged ones. They are. I always seem to get this wrong. They should feel privileged for having us in their lives, because once again, another example, I follow a lot of people that break down TV shows, psychology, sociology people, and I follow crime analysis people, and then I follow medical people, proper medical people, not TV doctors, and people that haven't had a fucking license for many decades. I'm talking about proper, they're in their job now doctors, and the amount of doctors and dentistry doctors and just all, to be honest, all round health care have said in the years I've worked in this job, I've never once had a woman walk into my door and in my room, whatever, and know what the appointment was. Which is true. Whenever you go to an appointment, you definitely know what you're going there for. And they always say, I've never had a situation where a woman don't know why they're there. They've always known why they're there. And if they didn't know, 100% they feel embarrassed, even though it's a little bit of detail they've changed. But generally, because women are told told you got to be like the bookkeeper, the admin, where the ones that are admin. And so we always get told that we have to be independent, but not really, because this once again proves again, because then a married man, a boy, comes in, even one that is a single man comes in, and all the health professionals say it's always a man or a boy that comes in that has no clue what their appointment is for, and then never be embarrassed for it either. They just say, well, I didn't make the appointment. It's always been a woman in their life that's made the appointment, and they just said so. You'll have to ring him back to ask him why I'm here. And obviously every healthcare professional then has said, I don't know how you have not listened to what your appointment was, and you have had to get someone else to sort it out. And they've probably told you multiple times what it was for, and you didn't listen because you didn't have to, because you're a man, because in your patriarchy world ideology, badly educated system, this is not a man's thing you have to sort out. It's the same as when you listen to other podcasts and other content creators or influencers, or whatever you want to call themselves. It's a single man talking. They always try to make out they're very hard done by, because they've panicked that now they have to be the ones that have to learn how to cook and clean and do basic things that a lot of women and girls already know how to do, or have been told that that's what is meant of them to be doing. And men just feel like it's hard done by because you're just all to get as high as you can up the ladder, because women and girls already know how to do it, or have been told that you just have to be the one that does this, even if you don't know what you're doing whatsoever. And men are just made to feel hard done by because they have to try and be independent on their own, and they just get taught to get as high as they can up the ladder, that you're in charge, you're number one, everyone loves you, everyone's going to think you agree, everyone thinks that you're going to be the man of the house, the beast of the Bodmin beast. I don't know what the fuck, but they will educate you like an American way, in my eyes, where you've been upped and you've been told that you're going to really excel at everything, and you're a failure if you don't. Where women are very used to being told you're going to be last. Like the amount of times you hear a woman is the last one to get a plate of food in her family meal, even though she was the one that fucking cooked absolutely everything. Mental. That's fucking mental to me. What? Because they rather give the best to the man of the house than to the children, and blah blah blah. Same as Victorian times. It used to be that the man had the bath first, because you used to have to be in like a tin bath in front of the fire, and you'd all share the same water, all the families share the same water, no one would have to change water. So it would be the man that goes first and then the children last. Maybe the woman might have a bath, not always. Women didn't always get these small luxuries and shit. We're always seeing women that were just machinery items. We've never seen us as humans, and it's fucking weird, because we're the ones that produce these children, we're the ones that build the children, and yet we're not number one in life. It's weird, but that's why then when we have a woman who is career, people look down on them because they see her in a patriarchal way, going, well, you should be making babies, you should be at home with your children, you're a bad parent because you're not spending time with your children. And it's just, but you've got a dad, so where's the fucking dad? I thought, it took two to tango, hey? But when you know it's that kind of thing, and then you just get obviously very privileged people again, where they think that they're entitled. I've seen a video where a bloke saw a woman, this is in England, by the way, they're all English people, by the way, so let's not start all that shit, at a train station. He was on the other side of the platform, so he crossed the fucking railway line and climbed up onto her platform and was like, yeah, girl, I think you're cute. And then she went, fuck off, get away from me. Someone helped me. No one came to assist her. So then she keeps shouting louder and louder, and he obviously got embarrassed. So instead of fucking going and apologising and not realising that anything he said, he tried to rob her of her phone and said that he was going to hurt her, instead of being fucking embarrassed and walking away when she said, no, go away. Then I saw a nurse, okay, being told in a patient's room that they didn't have hand paper towels in their room, in the ensuite toilet, the toilet, bathroom, whatever you want to call it. So she said, this is why you should never let your guard down at any second, because of, you'll see a nice guy situation. Very nice patient. My paper towels are stuck, or it's empty. She walks into the bathroom on her own with the door not very wide open or anything, not knowing that the patient has walked in straight after her. She's checked the paper towels, completely fucking full it was. And he shut the door, and his back was on the door, so she couldn't get out. And then he just went, oh, I think you're pretty. hey girl, and she just went, oh shit. So she loudly said in a very authoritarian way, get away from the door, sir. And he let her out, but she was like, do not let your guard down for anything. And that was a woman I just saw that just went through that like an hour ago, and she recorded it. She was shaking, bless her. And just every time I will probably look at that for you later, because I saved it, and I will probably see the comments saying, well, that's your fault, instead of going, what the fucking creep is going on? What the fuck is this? Why in a lot of person-centered jobs now we mostly have women and not men? But then people don't think that men are the ones that are probably going to still be looking after, you're going to still be looking after those fucking knobheads. So that's when you get men carers, doctors coming in. I don't give a shit about staff shortages. I think you need to have men for men, women for women most of the time. I know that then you'll know men that will get attacked by other men, and everyone in any being. So maybe they might have to take it more serious if a man gets attacked. I don't know, but what they don't, they find it a joke when people finally come forward. So you obviously got men, and you were like men or women that come forward with a horrendous accident, situation, whatever you want to fucking call it, right? I'm sick and tired of seeing this. That it's always men and boys that will say it's their fault, men or women's fault, or they'll joke about it and so I don't know what you're complaining for, or they'll say something negative about their look, so they'll go, well, you're ugly as fuck, so just be appreciative that that could have happened to you, and all that crap. It's what the fuck, you know? It's weird that they just find everything a joke. When people finally come forward and they find it a joke, they don't listen to women alive. They don't listen to women when they're dead. They don't listen to men when they're alive or dead. They only listen to them when all the people connected has died and not making any more money. Then all of a sudden they want to listen to you, dead or alive, because usually people connected with money and they've got dirty little secrets, or they've got dirty little secrets on other people. So that's why people are very selfish, because if it doesn't attack and personally, they don't care. And that's what you have to take with a very huge lump of grain of salt. That there are people, they will do that to you. They will choose abuse over abusees because it's easier to handle the situation, any situation. But the amount of times that we have found out where these released people are from prison, they did a horrible thing or do horrible things to children and people, always go, and people always go, I'm going to find them. They always say, like, when they go to prison, oh, this shit's going to happen to them and blah, blah, blah. People usually die, especially men, usually die in prison more because they owe a prisoner something. It's not because of what they've done on the outside. Yeah, it's the same as, like, in Britain, we have a lot of people that have been released for horrendous cases. And you always get people that go, oh, I'm going to find them, and I'm going to fuck him over and shit like that. And it's like this one guy in England and his friend ended up doing horrendous things to this little boy in the 90s, I think, late 90s. I was very young when this happened. And he's had his name changed a few times. God knows how many fucking times. And he keeps getting done for child porn on his computer. And he even goes around telling everyone who he was. Same as the mother, who was known for going out with paedophiles, and her daughter disappeared. Turns out she was hiding her daughter under her bed at her boyfriend's house, her other boyfriend's house, who was the uncle of the paedophile. And she also has been released. She's had interviews in the press and everything. And we know that she lives in England still. And I haven't heard any of these people being attacked or killed or anything. Gary Glitter is well-known paedophile. He has been released multiple times, and he has been released that many times that he was able to go to other countries to be a horrific paedophile there too. Then obviously when they released him thinking he's going to go to UK prison, and then he didn't. I think he was in prison, or he was, I can't remember if Gary Glitter's dead. I don't give a shit, but I can't remember, to be honest. He's like a fucking he was like a fucking kangaroo, bouncing up and down, in and out, and all that said, yeah, he's like a jack in the box or whatever. And then obviously, like, that's how much he was in prison, is that it seemed like every fucking 6 months you would hear about Gary Glitter fucking doing something pedo, and then he's in prison somewhere else again. It's like, what the fuck? Then you obviously had the well-known one of Jimmy Savile. Again, everyone knew that he was a paedophile, multiple, hugely, but because people were like, well, I might lose my job, they did nothing. we just got all these paedophiles everywhere, all around the world, and all these people, traffic all genders, abuse all genders, do not give a shit. No one gives a shit. It makes a good press, but then people quickly forget about it. And I don't always, because I'm nosy as fuck, and I look up the original articles, crimes, transcripts. So yeah, people are usually end up going in full circle, connecting with them, because I don't want people to ever forget, because I'm sick and tired of still people wanking over a lot of celebrities that have been dead for many years, or still alive now, have done terrible, horrendous things to children or women or animals or boys or men, and people ignore that because they like their song, that film, or whatever the fuck, however they got famous for, and it's weird, or they're mates with them or something, and it's weird that we have to seem to respect them when they died. No fucking thanks. I know last year I was saying that I was going to do stories on what artists I deleted and sold my stuff or gave it to charity shops and got rid of all my merchandise when I found out about horrendous shit that they've done. And as well as I know the world does not stop being horrendous, so I still haven't done it. And I think I forgot who I fucking deleted, because it's been quite a few months of me deleting everyone, so I'll probably just have to have a look up at horrendous celebrities that I most likely would have fucking listened to. But yeah, it's really weird because obviously on apps we make trends of of snippets or samples of music, and it turns out usually these are not nice people that's made his music or behind this music, but people have to make it a trend, so everyone loves it, and you're giving money to horrible people all the fucking time. It comes very quiet as well about Palestine. Like Palestine, there will never be a stop to the suffering, or Sudan's suffering, and we'll never stop around suffering. We'll never stop. It will never stop. It will definitely get worse because of oil, as we know. Congo suffer will never end. That's why you have to just keep going on about it. That's why I have to keep going on about the Filton 24, because unfortunately, I think that the next news I will unfortunately see is that some of these hunger strikers in the UK have fucking passed away, all because our government didn't want to give a shit. And it might not be on media, or they might turn it to make them be horrible people. I mean, they might have a snippet of them on the main media saying they passed away, but they'll paint the most ludicrous lunatics of them, because all these horrible countries and allies fund our rich people in our lives, or around our lives really. This money, we're not us money, they fund our government's pocket money, and not pocket money, and not all money. Nothing comes back to us ever. The same as Americans, they're still very delusional about thinking about taking over Venezuela, that they're all going to get this oil money, and it's not. It's all for Trump and his mates and his fake mates, because obviously he's got no fucking real friends. He buys his friends, his connection shit. He will believe it, and we all fight against each other all the time, because it's ridiculous. At the end of the day, it stems down to children and women, and unfortunately animals being the target, being the harmed, and throwing upset world being very upset. Say when a woman goes through things, or a girl goes through things, it's like, pull up your big girl pants, and you're very emotional, and women are weak and stuff like that, right? And you just get taunted and laughed at and just told that we're just crap, and that it's a patriarchal thing to do, so we all feel like we can't rule. And now we're realizing we can start rolling, and we should rule. And where men get attacked, a man goes through bad things, and boys go through bad things, it's always women and girls that support them. It's never a man that supports them. Because when you look at men and they sound like they're supporting, they're either doing it because they're doing it for views and followers, or for money. Because you see the rest of it, you've got to really look at people. You can't just like people online because you've seen one video or occasionally a video, because the algorithm likes to show you the occasional video that you pay attention to. So you have to have a look at their profile pictures and their profile pages and stuff like that, and other content that they go on other different apps and websites and stuff, especially if it was months ago or if it was yesterday, and you have to compare the two. Yes, I believe that people can change, because the amount of people that I know, and also people I have admitted as content creators that are left or socialists or whatever you want to call people, because it's all different, as it's all one umbrella in it, thing. Isn't it where we all believe in different things, and they've admitted they voted for Brexit and didn't really see it, because when Brexit was the voting, I was just turning 20. So for me, I was still very much in the, I'm going to say my family are more right surrounding than left. I think I'm more the one that really picks out all the stuff to correct people, because a lot of people are just like, well, we're just born in that time, that kind of shit. And unfortunately, then they don't teach their children that that's not how people want to be spoken to, and and support your kids on foreign matters and stuff. They just walk it off. Obviously, there's a lot of my friends that were turning into adult age, so they also thought it was, well, I'm going to tell David Cameron, you can't control me. And a lot of people voted for Brexit to kick David Cameron in the arse without actually thinking it could affect people and other general public. Just, you thought, you'll get the 350 million or billion or whatever fucking it was for the NHS, and a lot of people fell for it because, once again, like I said, you sort of taught that you have to believe in authorities, and that our families are all grown up. Obviously, a lot of people just didn't read what was actually what they wanted to do, and that is the problem. I do believe people can check. I do believe people can change, but yeah, if it's like a broken record, then I don't think you have to step back from a lot of people. I think you should step away. And unfortunately, with men, when women try and play the same game with men, how like they do on women's stuff, that they get really fucking knicker twisted about it. But they take it seriously. Like this person attacking them, because they can't see, ironic it is, they always just presume you're going to have to fix it. I don't know why, because we're not apparently the queens of the world, and yet they want you to fix it. They want their mums to fix it. And yeah, when men and boys go through it into their things, it's always women that pick them up and support them and things like that. And when men joke about it and control people and they're horrible about it, you get women and girls that are sarcastic back at men, and voting people get fired at when they haven't got a deal with a sarcastic comment thing. But yeah, if women try and girls try and be clever, men take it so personal, and they take it very personal. And you can see that men haven't talked to their kids at all about anything apart from being misogynistic prick. And men pretend that it's mental, that they're the ones that are choosing not to have children and getting married, but they're not. It's women that are choosing not to get married and have children, because men just feel like, you can't hurt my feelings, because men hurt their own feelings all the time. And men hurt their own feelings all the time because they just haven't been taught about relationships very well at all. You're taught how to break off relationships. You're not taught how to break off relationships. Friendship, families, romantic relationships, and all that. Taught as a bloke to see a woman and girls weaker, challenging, and stubborn, and a bitch, and all these negative shit for them. To stay like children, be hairless, long hair, short, be in revealing clothes, but not revealing when you're out, not with her, troll, paedophile shit. Then it's not then ironic when a guy, all these guys I've known, where they're all like, yeah, I want a skinny, blonde, blue-eyed girl to go out with, and then when they end up with mum confident bodies, full of bodies, I just laugh, because I'm like, if your partner knew how you used to talk about girls and women and about the people's weight and look that you've chose to have your partner like, she would have fucking kicked you right in the bollocks and ripped them off. We are taught so badly. We are taught so badly. It's fucking embarrassing. And unfortunately, women are the problem with that, because we also talk to men's centre. We're taught to be centred for men all the time. And obviously, number one rule, the bad route, we are taught so badly, and it's fucking embarrassing. And unfortunately, women are the problem as well, because we are taught to be men's centred. Men are obviously number one rule, the bad route, as of course, yeah, it doesn't help that women are just sort of thought that you'll have to have your day when your children are grown up and everyone will look after you and you'll be top of the family, and it never happens. And then when we all get mother-in-laws that are bastards, we all think she is so controlling, and it's because she's been told, if you work for your family and you work for your manor is your children, or your life is your man. When you're older, your son will start to still want you, and your daughter-in-law will be able to be controlled by you, blah blah blah. And that's why we have bitter bitches when we're older. And I'm an old bitch, but that's because I don't care. My kids are number one, and my cats, obviously. And that's it. I have friends, I enjoy my life, but I don't want any other person in my life right now. My life, really, I've had enough of it. I like discovering who I am, and I can do what I most want to do with my time, and it's great. I don't have to mother anyone else in a forceful way anymore. I can just educate and nurture my children, and because of like a weird little metal hippie goth girl, or woman, old middle-aged woman I should say, again, it was before I had children, and nature girl, exploring, hiking girl. I'm a woman, so I definitely can't be told what to do. You don't bring a girl. It's always about passing on their genes and never raising a child. I thought men were superior, yet here they are begging for help and refusing to change. It's actually funny at this point. If patriarchy was natural, it wouldn't need violence and repression to maintain it. Is it a male lonely epidemic, or is it a male consequence epidemic? The patriarchy is the intervention. You aren't entitled to every experience in life, especially at the expense of another's autonomy. Life isn't fair, so get over it. They kept saying men are being left behind, but those men simply aren't getting everything they want in life. And honestly, that's a disappointing reality that we all experience. We just make the best of what we've got. Men hurting now doesn't make up for thousands of years of patriarchy. They can never hurt more than women have. We've been denied education, choice, access to power, sexually assaulted, isolated from our periods, etc. Entire religions were built around subjugating of women. Our oppression is interwoven throughout fabric of society. It's sexual selection, a concept Charles Darwin coined as an extension of natural selection. Darwin argued that mate choice are often exercised by females, plays a significant role in shaping evolution, meaning not all males are equally successful at reproducing. While Darwin did not frame this in a modern political term, later interpretations and applications of evolution theory have sometimes reflected the social biases of their time, including patriarchal assumptions. The whole loneliness epidemic always seems to refer to men, but they never think of that of the women who are not willing to date men might be lonely too, in a partner but feeling it's too much of a risk to your own life to try and find one. And besides, I feel the loneliness is a choice. I am on my own a lot, and I never feel lonely. I believe women are liberating themselves more and more, and I think the longer men stay stagnant and don't strive to progress or improve these stereotype relationships, including friendships and expectations men place on men, will cause them to focus on the wrong thing, and eventually see how much it affects them. Things like mental health, relationships, family dynamics, and even finances. Society should not intervene to help men find sexual partners, and men's inability to attract someone is not social injustice. That requires stripping women of their bodily autonomy. A better question to ask would be, should we intervene to help men becoming better partners, people, so women can actually want to be with them? Or should we put systems in place to educate men about incels and far-right propaganda that fuels resentment, entitlement, and hatred towards women? Or should we help men understand how the patriarchy has harmed them too, convincing them that and how it affects their views on relationships? Or to be honest, any questions that hold men accountable for their behaviours rather than the question of blind women should be responsible for men's behaviour. Women should be allowed to choose. We should be allowed to choose men who aren't misogynistic. We should be allowed to choose men that don't abuse us. We should be allowed to choose men who don't believe in restricting our financial independence, autonomy, or freedom. And we should be allowed to choose men all the time. So, no, we shouldn't intervene to course correct a statement from fucking Dr. K and Stephen Bartlett, women's choice of what to do with their own body. So to reiterate, men's mental health, the alarming suicide rates, and the loneliness epidemic, it's all credibility, serious issues that deserve attention, care, and awareness. But women's bodies and the removal of our right to choose our partners are not the solution. We can support men without sacrificing women's autonomy. I really don't understand. They get offended when we don't fall for their offensiveness. Whatever happens being nice and wooing someone, we would like to get with, like back in the day, nothing makes sense, because we've got a lot of people that use the form what we call negging. Negging is a form of emotional manipulation where someone gives a backhanded compliment or mild insults, neg, to undermine another person's confidence, making them seek the manipulator's approval and validation, a tactic popularized and picked up artists, PUAS, to appear desirable in a subtle but disguised attempt to lower someone's self-esteem through comments that seem innocent but are actually demeaning, creating an imbalanced power dynamic. So how it works, this is from Wikipedia that I got all this from. Backhanded comments: that dress is cute. I usually only see women your age wear it. Implies you're old. False praise: you're smart for someone who doesn't read much. Disguised insults, pretending to offer helpful criticism, but actually they're making the person feel unworthy or foolish. The goal: to lower the target's self-esteem, to make them feel they need to impress the negger, by the way, the person that's negging, I'm not saying another word, to create a sense of challenge, making the manipulator seem more appealing to contrast. Why it's manipulative? It is not genuine feedback, but a deliberate strategy to gain control and attention. It fosters insecurity rather than connection. If they think insults are humour, they're trying to make you beg on their approval. Why insult someone you're romantically interested in? They embarrass themselves, then turn violence and anger, hurting their own feelings. It's like banter shite. Oh, it's just banter. Sir, sirs, mister, please. Girls and women know their own worth. Don't do that. Stop listening to your red pill and use your own brain and personality, please. Woo. Oh, Christ. So I think this is going to be part one. Because that was a lot to talk about. That was a lot on one subject. So yeah, learn, listen with empathy. I know it's hard to break that when you've been brought up in a certain way, but please break that generalization, trauma. Think with your own brain. Read original stuff. Read articles. Read fucking books. Stop listening to these people that just want to make money out of you. And condolences again to all countries around the world and all oppressed minority groups and communities that are getting right fucked over. I'm hoping one day we really do have a socialist situation where everyone is fucking equal. I really fucking hope so. Bye!